Welcome back to the Arsenal Report, and remember, make subscribe, then you continue enjoy your dairy news. Zubimendi to Arsenal, a Basque maestro nears North London. Switch. For months, Arsenal fans had scanned every headline, every whispered rumour, hoping for concrete news. Now, as the summer sun shimmered over London Colney and the hum of pre-season preparations began, the story dominating every back page in England and Spain was no longer just speculation. Martin Zubimendi, the quiet conductor of Real Sociedad, was on the verge of joining Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. It was a transfer long in the making, birthed not in desperation, but in design. Arteta, himself once a Basque midfielder whose journey took him from San Sebastian to Premier League stardom, had kept a watchful eye on Zubimendi for over 2 seasons. His admiration was no secret within Arsenal's scouting department. In Zubimendi, Arteta saw not just a player, but an extension of his footballing philosophy. Intelligent, composed, disciplined, and eternally aware of the pitch around him. The 26-year-old had quietly earned a reputation as one of La Liga's most elegant midfielders. A graduate of Real Sociedad's famed Zubieta Academy, he wasn't flashy, his football was nuanced. He made passes others didn't see, intercepted moves before they blossomed, and orchestrated games with the quiet authority of a symphony conductor. But it wasn't until Granit Xhaka's departure last summer and Thomas Partey's persistent injury issues that Arsenal accelerated their pursuit. Declan Rice had arrived to great fanfare, but Arteta craved balance, someone who could anchor the base of midfield while allowing Rice and Odegaard to roam with freedom. Jorginho, though dependable, was a stopgap. Zubimendi, by contrast, was the long-term answer. The deal, however, had always seemed complicated. Zubimendi was loyal, perhaps fiercely so. Last summer, Barcelona had courted him heavily. He declined. Bayern Munich inquired in January. He politely rebuffed. "I am at home here," he had said at the time, "and I owe much to Real Sociedad. But football, like time, changes everything." Quiet discussions began in early May. Edu Gaspar, Arsenal's technical director, had reached out to Zubimendi's camp discreetly. Unlike the bombastic approaches of other clubs, Arsenal moved with subtlety and respect. They didn't wave money or promises. They offered a vision. A place in one of Europe's most progressive squads, under a manager who understood Zubimendi both culturally and tactically. Sources close to the player began to shift their tone. While previously adamant he would remain in Spain, Zubimendi was now considering. He admired Arsenal's rise, their narrow title near miss in 2023, the stylish football, the faith in young talent. He had watched as Arteta turned Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli into world beaters as William Saliba matured into a defensive titan. The Basque midfielder could see himself thriving in red and white, but there was the release clause, $60 million, and Real Sociedad's insistence that they would not negotiate below it. Arsenal, wary of drawn-out sagas, opted for decisiveness. Last weekend, a delegation flew to San Sebastian. While no official announcement was made, multiple Spanish outlets reported that Arsenal had agreed to activate the full clause. It was a statement of intent. No haggling, no games. By Monday, trusted journalists Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein were tweeting in tandem. "Zubimendi to Arsenal, here we go." Almost. The player had given his green light. Personal terms had been verbally agreed. A 5-year contract awaited, with an option for a 6th, and a salary that would reflect his importance in the squad hierarchy, just under £150,000 per week. The move was not just significant tactically, but symbolically. For Arteta, it was personal. In Zubimendi, he wasn't merely signing a player. He was endorsing a kind of football rooted in their shared heritage. Patient, intelligent, meticulous. Back in Donostia, Sociedad fans were torn. There was pride that their academy had again produced a gem admired across Europe. But also sorrow. Zubimendi had been the heartbeat of their midfield, a quiet leader who rarely raised his voice but never shrank from responsibility. And so now, in early June, only formalities remain. A medical is scheduled in the coming days, and Arsenal have already begun preparing the official unveiling. The club's social media team is crafting teaser videos, splicing clips of Arteta with slow-motion footage of Zubimendi gliding past defenders in La Liga. The Emirates store is rumoured to be readying shirts bearing Zubimendi 6. Fans are already dreaming. A midfield trio of Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard promises both control and creativity. It's the kind of balance Arsenal haven't had since the days of Vieira, Gilberto Silva and Fabregas. There is a quiet hope, no longer just of challenging, but of conquering. Another news. Bukayo Saka, Arsenal's golden boy, was leaving. blockbuster offer from Real Madrid had turned heads. £140 million and a promise of European glory. The club tried to keep him. Arteta pleaded. Edu negotiated. But Bukayo had made up his mind. He'd given Arsenal everything. A decade of loyalty, countless goals, big game moments. And now he was leaving, not out of disloyalty, but destiny. The fans were heartbroken. The Emirates banners with his name still waved in the breeze. But the club couldn't mourn for long. They needed a solution, not just a winger. They needed a phenomenon. And Edu knew exactly where to look. At a strategy meeting in London Colney, Arteta stared at the board in silence. "Replacing Saka?" he asked, shaking his head. "You don't replace a heart, you replace the rhythm. What if we didn't replace him with another wing?" Arteta raised an eyebrow. Edu pulled up a video. Osimhen. But this wasn't the usual highlight reel of striker goals. It was different. Clips of him drifting wide, running at fullbacks, crossing, cutting in with pace, ferocity and flair. Arteta's mind began to race. "What if," Edu said, "we evolved the system instead?" Victor Osimhen was already a gunner. He'd joined Arsenal the summer before and exploded into life at centre forward. But with the arrival of a new number, 9, wonder kid Santiago Marin from Brazil, Arteta had an idea. "You're a force," Arteta replied. "You can press, stretch, destroy. From the wing, you'll have freedom and power. You won't replace Saka, you'll redefine the role." Victor thought about it. He'd played wide early in his career, and the idea of terrifying fullbacks for 90 minutes intrigued him. "I'll do it," he said, "but I'm not coming to copy anyone. I'll be the first of my kind." The media exploded when Arteta confirmed the decision. Osimhen to replace Saka on the right wing? Arsenal's boldest tactical switch yet. From poacher to predator, the Nigerian storm coming wide. He's a number one. Why waste him wide? Madness to replace Saka with a striker. We're finished. But Arteta didn't flinch, nor did Osimhen. In a rare interview, he responded with calm confidence. Osimhen on the right wasn't just working, it was terrifying. He'd drift wide, then cut in like a rocket. His speed, already deadly through the middle, was uncontainable down the flank. Left-backs trembled. Midfielders shifted nervously. Ødegaard found new passing lanes. Arsenal's 4-3-3 morphed in possession. Osimhen stayed high and wide, sometimes even wider than Saka used to, dragging defenders, opening lanes for Marin and Martinelli. He pressed with fury. He tracked back. He bullied opponents. He was a winger in position, but a predator in attitude. The Emirates was packed. Arsenal versus Tottenham, the North London derby. No Saka. Just Osimhen, warming up along the touchline, crowd buzzing with curiosity. 10 minutes in, he roasted Udogie with a burst of pace. 20 minutes later, he cut inside and unleashed a thunderbolt. Goal. Top corner. Emirates erupted. He ran to the fans, pointed to the sky and roared. Osimhen on the right wasn't just working, it was terrifying. He'd drift wide, then cut in like a rocket. His speed, already deadly through the middle, was uncontainable down the flank. Left-backs trembled. Midfielders shifted nervously. Ødegaard found new passing lanes. Arsenal's 4-3-3 morphed in possession. Osimhen stayed high and wide, sometimes even wider than Saka used to, dragging defenders, opening lanes for Marin and Martinelli.